So as usual, every morning I go to the attic and I breathe in the fresh air. Peter was busy this morning when I went there. Peter, there's another member who was living there. He was busy cleaning up. From my favorite spot on the floor, I look up at the blue sky from the favorite spot. So there is a spot where I can simply sit and look at outside through the window that we have over there. So as I sat there, I could see the blue sky over there. Then the bare chestnut tree. Chestnut is a kind of a nut that even we eat. So there is a tree there and that is bare. Barren means yes, even the leaves have gone off. So some trees have this speciality that they shed their leaves during the autumn season. Okay, so just like that, the tree had a shed. There are no more fruits over there, no more nuts over there, and any leaves also. So I can see the clear blue cloudless sky over there and the barren chestnut tree over there, on whose branches little raindrop shines like silver, and the seagulls and other birds as they glide on the wind. So it rained the last night, it seems, and there are still some raindrops hanging on these bare branches of this chestnut tree. See, what a beautiful scene that is. Yeah? A tree which has got its branches with a lot of water droplets hanging here and there. And in the morning sun, they glow as if it has got some silver things hanging on the tree. The sky is open, plain. There are no clouds. It's a clear blue sky. And the barren, bare chestnut tree is standing there without any leaves and fruits. And a lot of rain droplets are hanging here and there on the branches of it, which glitter like some silver ornaments in the early morning. And there are so many birds, like the seagulls. Seagulls means what? Yeah, it's a seabird. Seabird means a bird which can fly over the sea for a long time and catch fish from the sea. Okay, so seagulls as they glide on the wind. Amsterdam is actually a coastal area. Okay, so it's very close to the sea and there are these kinds of birds in plenty. So as the wind blows, these birds are flying and gliding along with that wind. Okay, so as usual, I sat there. Peter was busy cleaning up, getting the things ready for the next thing. Okay, it's morning again. They need to do some things. So I sat there and I started observing the nature through the window. And he stood with his head against a thick beam and I sat down. So he was standing here. He was a tall man and he had these beams. The beams means the thick wooden panels which are used here, okay, for the roofing. So he was standing against that because he had the beam here and she was sitting there. And what was he doing there? We breathed the fresh air, looked outside, and both felt that the spell should not be broken by the words. It was so amazing an experience that we never spoke anything over there. We were just breathing the fresh air, observing the nature outside. We were not speaking anything. Then they went up to chop woods. Chop wood means cut wood into pieces so that they can use it as a firewood. If they want to cook something, they will use this, isn't it? Even we have it, in the villages and all. We have the stoves where they use wood to as a fuel, right? So Peter went up. Peter went up means yes, the topmost parts here to chop wood, cut wood into pieces. And as he went up, he was doing it, and he wanted to show that he is strong, energetic, and all. Okay, so he was just standing there and chopping the woods, and he was a nice fellow. He was a very good fellow. Peter is a very good guy. He was chopping woods there. I was sitting here and observing him. and we never spoke anything. We never spoke anything. We were doing all this in a silence. And I looked out through the open window. I just looked out through the open window, and from there I can see a very good part of Amsterdam. Okay, because they are on the top of the house, isn't it? Almost on the top of the house. So from there, she can see a very good part of Amsterdam and over the roofs and horizon. So from here, if she looks, she can see the roofs of other houses over there, isn't it? And the farther end, the horizon. The clear blue sky, the rooftops, and some hanging silver looking raindrops. Right? Amazing scene. So she just observed Peter sometimes as he was chopping the woods, and after that she just looked out through the window and was observing and enjoying the nature. And she felt, as long as this exists, what the nature exists, as long as the nature is there, I may live to see it. This is sunshine, the cloudless skies. While this lasts, I cannot be unhappy. There is nothing in this world as far as now the time is concerned for me to be happy. I cannot go out, I cannot play, there is no freedom. But as long as this nature is there, as long as I am able to sit over here at the favorite place that I have over here and look at the nature outside, enjoy them, I don't find anything, any reason to be unhappy. Okay, so nature has such a great impact in her life. She sat there at her favorite spot, looked out through the window, and she could see nothing else. The clear blue skies, the cloudless skies over there, the horizon, and the rooftops of Amsterdam. Somewhere in the farthest parts, maybe some sea, which is also there in Amsterdam. Nothing more. But still, she felt, as long as nature is there, there is some reason for me to be happy. And she also had another opinion that if you are afraid of something, if you feel that you are very lonely, or if you feel that if you are very unhappy, okay, so what are the situations? If you are afraid, if you are lonely, if you are unhappy, what do you need to do is just to go outside somewhere. Take a long walk on the road, reach a park or some farm or some place where you can be lonely, you cannot be disturbed by anybody else. You are all alone. Okay? Where you are all alone, and only things that you have over there is a heaven above, the God and the nature around you, nothing else. Okay? So if you are lonely, if you are sad, or if you are afraid of something, just to take a walk to a place where there are only you, the nature, the God, and the heavens. Right? Then you will feel much inspired, much changed, because nature has such kind of an impact on us. Nature can bring such a kind of changes in us that we will forget everything around. All our sorrows, all our fear, all our sadness, all our loneliness will be lost once when we start to get ourselves involved in the nature. The moment we start to realize that we are also a part of the nature, then we will become very happy. Just like the flowers, just like the butterflies, just like the grass, the stones, the trees, the farms, the hills, the rivers, the lakes, we are also part of it. Okay? Now, then we will have the courage. See, Annie Frank with her family and all these people together lived in that room for 2 years. 2 years. We cannot even think about that for 2 hours. But they lived for 2 years because this nature was the inspiration. Nature is ultimate inspiration. Whenever we feel that we are running out of inspiration, whenever we need some encouragement, look at nature. Nature can give it to the best level. Okay? As long as this exists. As long as this exists. Because, see, God has created the world, God has created us, and what God actually wants is to see us happy among all that He has created. The nature, the hills, the mountains, the rivers, the trees, the birds, the seas, the seashore, all these are created by God. And He will be very happy to see us happy in among that. Wars, troubles, problems, these are man-made. We created these kinds of issues. Okay? And God would never like to watch us to be among all these things. God will be ultimately happy to see us. It's very simple. We need not try to do something, big, very huge things to make God happy. If we are happy with those things that are around us in the nature, then God will be happy because God has created all these things for us. Got the point? Huh? The fruits, the flowers, the trees, the plants, the birds, the butterflies, the insects, the animals, the hills, the mountains, the rivers, the streams, the plains, the grasslands, the nature, the sky, the rainbow, the rain, the sunshine, the snow. Everything in this world God has created for us. If we are happy with that, then obviously God also will be happy. Very simple. On your birthday, you brought chocolates. Why? You want to give the chocolate to your friend and to make your friend happy. If your friend is happy with the chocolate that you give, you also will be happy, isn't it? If your friend is not happy, how do you feel? You also will feel unhappy. In the same way, if we are happy with what we have around us in the nature, the God also will be happy. But what do? We do create troubles, wars, problems, issues, damaging the nature itself. So, as long as the nature is there as what it is, we will be happy, and as long as we are happy, God also will be happy. That is what Annie left. Okay? I know that there will always be comfort for every sorrow, whatever the circumstance may be. As long as the nature is so, whatever the circumstances we are in, when we look at the nature or when we try to become the part of the nature, definitely we will get comfort. Definitely we will find comfort. Got it? Yes. Then, I firmly believe that nature brings a solace. Solace means what? Comfort. Solace means a comfort. Oh, who knows? Perhaps it won't be long before I can share this overwhelming feeling of bliss with someone who feels the way I do about it. So Peter also is there now. Peter also feels the same thing. He is also much worried and troubled about it. The life they had been leading. But she was sure that someday, very soon, I may be able to share these kinds of feelings that I feel with Peter. See, they came to the window, they took a long breeze of the fresh air, and they just looked out through the window, but they didn't speak anything, isn't it? So Peter also feels the same thing that what Anne was feeling, but they were not sharing. So Annie knew it that Peter also has the same feelings, and now she thinks very soon I may be able to share these kinds of feelings with someone who also feels it the same. Yours, Annie. So we start the diary by addressing the diary, and we end it with a signature, and that is yours, Annie. So all throughout the diary, there's the diary of a young girl. Same way, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, everything that she felt during her life in that single room. The secret room was shared. And the world came to know how the people suffered or how the people were affected by this world war through her diary. Okay, so Annie Frank has such a great importance in the English literature now because of this diary, right? So this is the lesson part of Annie Frank diary page. We have just to read just a 1 day's diary, okay? But she had written it for almost 2 years. Almost for 2 years, she had written it in the same way. And the entire diary, all the pages that she had written in that diary got published after her death. Okay, so just 1 day, which was the day February 23rd, 1944, is what we read now. Okay, so we can understand how difficult the life of the people will be if there is a war or some other such situations. Okay, so that is the importance of Annie Frank and her diary. So that is a lesson part, Annie Frank diary page. Now it is time for us to go to the activity part and the question answers of this lesson, right?